Happy birthday, Nefesh. It is fitting, a lot of different things are happening tonight, and it is fitting that this week we are starting a new book of Torah, the new and final book of Torah that we have been moving all through since last fall. We now come to the last book, Devarim, Deuteronomy. In the beginning of our Exodus journey, just some months ago, if you recall, Moses, and in a very big moment, a very famous moment, is at the bush that was burning and not consumed. And Moses called out, and God called out to Moses and said, Moses, this is your time. This is your opportunity. You have to go back and lead your people. And Moses said, no. You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember Where the Wild Things Are? Yeah? Did you read that a lot? And it would always say, we'll eat you up, we love you so. The monsters tell that. And Max said, right, except the way I told her I love to tell it with my kids was like, Max said, yes, come on, eat me up. My kids would go, Mom, that's not what it says. It says no. So in this moment, Moses says no. And in fact, Moses says no a lot, again and again. And the reason Moses is giving, right, for why he cannot do this is because I am not a man of words. Lo ish devarim anochi. I am not a man of words. When he agrees, eventually, it is because Aaron, his brother, will go and be the one who speaks for him, who helps him with his words. And then later on, a little bit later in Exodus, when he goes to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh now gets to say, let my people go. No. Where's the no, everybody? This is your opportunity to shout out no, and you're missing it. Let my people go. That's it. Pharaoh says no. Lots of back and forth with Pharaoh. Lots of reasons why Pharaoh would say no, right? I mean, let all these people go? No. But Moses thinks, you know why it is, God? I told you. It's that issue I have with my words. I told you this was not going to work out. So whenever there's an issue, Moses goes right back to what I think is my problem. It's these words. They don't work with me. And then we get to Devarim, the last book of Torah, after this whole journey through the wilderness, a spiritual journey through the wilderness. And now, Ela ha-Devarim asher diber Moshe el kol Yisrael. These are the words that Moses spoke to all of Israel. These are the words, not just some words, a whole book. All of Devarim is Moses talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, feeling such urgency. You're about to cross over. We've gone on this whole journey. There's so many things I need to tell you with my words. So Moses went on this journey that led from a fear of his words, from seeing his words as the hardest place for him, his deficiency, the thing he could not do. And now, here are his words. So many of them, the things he knows only he can offer. This is his offering. They are his words. This idea that each of us has our own unique offering is so precious in our tradition. We get at it in different ways. It's a lot of a part of our Hasidic tradition and the stories we get told about each person finding your offering, your destiny, your path. That's not Shmuel's path. That's not Lila's path. That's your path. I've told you before the famous story about Rev Zusia. I won't go all in it now, but the punchline is when he's about to die and he's worried and they're like, why are you freaking out? Are you worried you weren't like Abraham, Moses, etc.? He says, no, I'm afraid when I die I get to God, and God says, why weren't you more like Zusia? Your path. And it turns out that your path begins often, the deepest part of it, right in that place that is the place that you say is my problem. This is my problem. This is my challenge. This is the part I want to hide away. This is the thing I don't want you to see. No, God, I can't do it. I don't have the words. And then he has to go on a journey to find the words. And friends, he finds so many. He has so much he wants to say. And it's a whole book of our Torah. It's so precious. It is when we look right into the heart of what is our biggest struggle. That is where we can start to find the depths of our journey. This is where I can make my art. This is where I am called to do this work. These are the relationships I'm drawn to. This is how I make the world a better place. It comes from that place. Sometimes we get that right away, and awesome for you if you figured it out when you were really little. But for most of us, like Moses, it has to repeat and repeat and repeat again. We go through a process of pushing it away, or that's not it, that can't be it, until, oh my gosh, that is it. And there you were all along. The thing I was running from, the thing I was hiding, the thing I was covering up. Rabbi Aviva Zornberg shares that what Moses is hesitant about in his speech is because his speech comes from another realm. It doesn't come from this realm. It comes from a different realm. It comes from the murmuring deep, from the Panei Tehom, from the face of the waters. In the moment of creation, in the book of Bereshit, in Genesis, right at the beginning of Torah, we learn that there's these different layers. And underneath, there is the murmuring deep. Before, there is speech, and then there is light. Let there be light. The murmuring deep is all the way under that, before we even get to speech. That's where Moses lived, in the depths underneath what could be speech. And what she said is Moses' journey is to say, actually, I can talk from there. I think that you don't want to hear the spiritual realm, and certainly the people weren't ready for it. But both Moses and the people go on a spiritual journey until they can hear each other in that place, speaking from a whole different realm. In a related teaching, Rabbi Julia Watts-Belzer teaches about Moses as this disabled prophet. He has to go on a journey to claim his voice and his full self. She says, Moses became a man of words by claiming his place before his people as an unabashedly disabled speaker. Moses has learned to take his time, to claim his space, to claim his own disabled voice. She says, when I read the book of Deuteronomy, I hear him speaking in my heart. I hear him stutter through the long, beautiful recitation of his own life story. I hear him stutter without flinching. I hear him stutter without shame. When you look at these words, heal, to restore, to make well again, tshuva, to return, to repair, tikkun, repair, improve, make better, correct something that's gone awry, all of this has repeating inside of it, repetition. We come back to it. We come back to it again and again and again. Our challenge, our struggle / superpower. We come back to it again and again. Often we don't want to, but there it is. And it's through going through the process of claiming it, rather running than running from it. This is when it becomes our offering. It is like we do a working of the material of our insides. to shape what is our offering to this world. It consists of our own unique selves with our family history and our collective narratives and our specific blocks and our open places, and we're sculpting them into being, just like so Moses, when he gets to this moment, he can take a whole book full of what he needs to say. So at this moment, I can sit here with you in the living room and tell you what I need to say. So that in this moment, I can walk out of here so I can go there to do the work I'm supposed to be doing. The work that has been calling me over and over and over again. Often we think that we need to layer up, cover up, layer over ourselves. And Moses is here saying, no, you don't layer up, you take those layers off. One layer at a time. On Shabbat, we give a blessing to kids. We tell them, may you be like Sarah. May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. Beautiful blessings connecting us to our ancestors. Also, the poet Marcia Falk wrote a blessing that you all know I love, because I tell you it all the time, but I feel like it's something that you can just say without end. May you be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. Hayi asher tihi, v'hayi brucha ba'asher tihi. May you be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. May you be so much you. And may all of the you that you are be a blessing to this world.